So I mean, that's actually scary when you see, that you want an agent to present to a broker, I want to join your firm, but here's my business plan, because they're going to be responsible for you, but if you're not successful, that's only going to bring their agency down. So, okay.
And it's so many dollars and the amount of time that these brokerages spend in training these people to have them go by the wayside or not be successful when they could have if they had a plan. But Frosty, when I came in, you were talking about agents who happen to have a spouse who has a good job. I mean, frankly speaking, I was lucky some months that my husband makes a solid living, and because there's those times when it's dry.
First year.
So,
I'm not
yeah.
casting dispersions.
No,
on
I didn't
anybody
feel like
that
you were.
does it that way.
So
But you're right.
But how do you want to account for those months? Or how do you want to account, Jaylene said the exact same thing. She said, even how you would apply for a small business loan if you needed it to get you by until you actually started making your money. So one thing we talked about with the brokers before was like some type of, before you even take your Knoll Morton course, here's what it really looks like to be a realtor. Because
Yeah, before you
everybody-
spend all that money.
So
and
how do you
time.
do that? How do you mandate that? What would something, and so we even said like, just people coming in and say, this is what the average, it's not $36,000 a month, this is what people make, this is how long it takes, this is the percentage that you get, this is your firm gets, how much money do you need to actually market, because Jaylene was saying, you're sending out money, and you're assuming you're gonna be bringing in money, and you need amount of time, which could be 3-4 months.
When we do a career night, we go through that. We show people what the breakdown would be on an average sale, to show them what their net would be. And then take that net.
then everybody leaves.
Because the net.
It's still good, yeah.
Without giving anything away.
Yeah.
Let's assume a $200,000 sale, 3% commission, 6% gross. So much goes here, there, the next place, you end up with $3,900.
Yeah.
How many times a year do you want to do that? And then you can work that into, this is how many transactions I need to make $100,000, and then we've got proportion to how many appointments a week do I have to have in order to keep, you can work it down into a mathematical formula.
Part of a business
Then
plan.
the last part
Yeah.
of it is,
Yeah.
where do I get my leads? Lead generation is the name of the game. What we see, not to accuse it too, we get all these people who are excited about real estate, and they do come in, they do get their licenses. But it's the old adage, you can lead a horse to the water, which can't be a bridge. And the ones that take it and run, they last. The ones that limp along and wait for their aunt to sell their house, or a lead to come in through the front office, they don't last. You write a business plan, this is what I know I have to do to make this amount of money, and this is how many leads I need to generate. Enough appointments to get enough buy sales to make that happen.
Maybe it would be nice too if there was a place on the MAR where if people are interested, other realtors could say, go to this website. They have a page that kind of breaks down, for you, so you can see quickly, because not everybody can go to a career night. I don't even know when you have the career night, but I mean, if they wanted to quickly look and see, would this even be anything I'd be interested in?
Right.
Because that would be something they could do today instead of wait weeks or months or whatever it is. Just on the moment, because
It's
that's
not
how
rosy.
people are these days.
Well, it
It's real,
is.
it's a real world.
And it's
Yeah.
so it's a very low entry. So to maintain level of professionalism, you have to increase the buy-in. And so as you're in the market longer and longer and you're shelling out money, your level of buy-in, you're either thinking I'm going to bail out or I'm going to continue. But initially, if you didn't want to see all that level of turnover, and someone say, I was a realtor for a while, it didn't work out, you want to have the ones that come in to actually have a commitment. How would you mandate, or how would you, is it going to have to come from a regulatory perspective, or is it
I think
just?
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you regulate?
Well, the idea, see, there's two things you have to combat here in regards to this, because budgets are in local, state, and national budgets are built on dues. So, you know, they want more dues. Okay, so if that is the goal, then there's not gonna be any change. If the goal is to change to a certain level of professionalism, you're not gonna make all those dues. You're gonna substantially drop. Now, it's not to say it's not gonna recover at some point, but you're gonna see a big drop. So, in my idea that I've had for a long time, and I've never been at a level to where I could push it, but if you, and this is based along the lines of you're getting a license to learn. You make your dues based on number of transactions that you do. So a realtor, I'm full-time, and I'm not saying, obviously not saying anything disparaging. My wife's a stay-at-home, I'm in it, and that's what I make is what I make.
Sure.
So, based on a certain amount of transactions that you do, the more transactions that you do, the little less that you're gonna be paying in dues. If you're a rookie, you're starting off, you're gonna pay a little bit more in dues until you get to a certain level. Because at that point, I mean, you've got people that are buying in at that point. I'm gonna commit to getting 20 transactions a year, 30 transactions a year. Because if I don't, I'm gonna have to pay $1,200 for my dues next year versus if I get myself down to where, you know, whatever.
Sure.
If you do it transactionally based, now you're dealing with people that are doing more than 5 transactions a year. And the number of transactions that you do and the experiences that you have in those transactions are where you learn. That's where you learn. I mean, if I have a deal fall apart from a home inspection and I've only done 3 deals a year, I'm not gonna remember or learn and put that into place on my next one very much.
Right,
So-
you're gonna be reeling from that situation. So we talked about that in the broker meeting before, like some type of regulation that could be applied, but if it's monetary, I mean, that's that it's a mandated certain number of transactions per year. And I mean, there's certain years that's not gonna happen, but if it's a graduated scale, that the more that you sell, then that indicates more of a buy-in. So there's different, I know, and it's a level of motivation. It's kind of like, how do you usually grade as a motivator?
Well, there's tremendous amount of logic in what you said, because it's a double-edged sword. I've always wondered why do I want to encourage other people to come in this business to become better?
Right.
And I've always thought, not necessarily from the direction that you're thinking, but if they did a survey of the National Association of Realtors and they said, if we doubled our dues to have fewer realtors, would you go for it? I would. Well, my dues are not, this is the least expensive business in the world to be in. Once you get going. I ran a landscaping company for 11 years. My commitment to loans and equipment and all the other stuff that goes along, Social Security withholding, workman's compensation, this is a cheap business to be in from the standpoint of how much money can I make and how much inventory can I control.
Right.
So these people that are crying when we raise the dues by $10, wah, 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 wah. Go back to the quick way story. Get over it. A little bit of change in dues is not gonna kill you if you're applying yourself to this business the way you should. So,
And if that's what you're looking for is a level of commitment, then, you know, that type of a scale is something. And so, okay, so you guys keep talking.
I'm gonna take off, people.
Okay.
I wanna
Thank
thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I am a director
Thank
of the
you.
Montana Association of Realtors. I do
Thank
and
you.
have been very involved with this association from very shortly after I got into the business. And I love it when people with your credibility, your knowledge, your experience get involved in stuff like this, because I think this will make a difference. I'm just as appalled as you are that there aren't more of us.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
So that's,
Frosty.
You bet.
yeah, that's the frustrating part, because the people that have been at these sessions are the ones that want to see the level of professionalism increase. And then, you know, they say we have these training sessions, and a percentage of people come if it's not mandatory and we do office training, and they're gonna do the CE, and if they're not really committed, they're gonna do the minimal amount, they'll do it online, they'll do it, the same repetitive courses year after year. So, I mean, we can go from, I've heard similar things, when you guys say things like a business plan or graduated, that's wonderful, because that's the stuff that I'm gonna take and put as, these are specific recommendations. And, and to me, that's exactly what they're looking for, because I don't think there was a mystery that they brought me in, that they knew what you guys were gonna say, that it is, it's too easy to get in. Even when you're in, your training isn't, it's so minor, it's not that expensive to keep your license year after year.
Jenny, did you get your broker license yet?
No.
Have you gotten it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so when I took my salesperson, you had to take the Knoll Morton, another similar class, week-long class to get your brokerage license.
Right.
And then you had to take a test that required you to fill out the HUD ones, and it was a mechanical test. It was a hard thing.
Yeah.
Well, I got my broker license 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I was ashamed of it. Because
Really?
it's all that broker test is now, it's a situational thing. So they build a transaction that, it's a progressive word problem. They build a transaction and you choose the right answers on this particular question, Would you initiate contact with this person or not? Or, it's kind of an ethical thing. And it's progressive, and they ask you about 10 problems, and your answers are, I'm not saying you gotta have math on a test, but
Right.
it is not, I told Charlie about the test, and he just scoffed. He thought, wow,
Yeah.
what a joke. So, to me, it's a money grab. That's what it's turned into. Rather than protecting the profession, it's turned into a money grab where, hey, we gotta make it as easy for people to come in so we can just keep getting these dues, keep getting these dues.
So the reason why they have hired you is to up the level of professionalism, or to just find out what services they can offer to the...
To find out what the issues are and how you guys feel, because what you say in a focus group is much different than what you might write on a survey or the answers that you might give. So we want to know specifically. I think generally they knew pre-licensure, CE credits. These are issues that people are thinking about. But then as we talk and you bring up a topic like business plan, then that could lead Pamela to say something, and so they want solutions. Like so you want to know what the problem is, but they want to create solutions. So they didn't hire me to, I'm not a specialist in the real estate field. I just do market research. So I'm really here just to get you guys talking, because usually there's no place for you to give your opinion. And when you fill out a survey, I never really think people are going to read them. And so I will be. So when you do these, in probably be October or November maybe, but send me good stuff. But this is really good stuff, because the level, I think there's no mystery that everybody feels that the level of professionalism should be increased. So if your hairdresser needs to, take thousands of hours of, training,
Right.
how can it be that you guys have such a low barrier to get into the industry? And maybe there is a high level of turnover, but why make it that way?
Right.
Why not make it harder to get in, or, more of a commitment when you enter the market?
There's not a lot of skin in the game to come into this process.
No. Yeah, yeah,
It really isn't, from a commitment level or a financial level.
yeah,
You can just get your license and have it hung somewhere,
right.
and you can say you're a realtor.
And never do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And that's what Twyla was here, and she said, so you saw your mom's house, you saw your cousin's house, you
And
saw
that's
your
it.
aunt's house, and that's it, and you're good to go. So full-time, part-time, that's okay if people get started part-time?
I think that they need to be full-time. I
Okay.
just do.
I agree.
But I
Okay.
came from the school of, our broker required us to be full-time, and I think that you're doing your clients a disservice if you're not full-time.
Okay,
I've
okay.
told people, if if you're gonna start, because that's what I did. I started part-time. I was working as a bartender and as an airplane mechanic when I had my license hung at that other brokerage.
Okay.
And so I wasn't really committed to it, you know, I was
Yeah.
trying, I liked it, I thought I'd like it, and I even wrote up a couple offers, but they were crap offers, I didn't have good direction.
Yeah.
So, so what I tell people now is, you know, you can do this business part-time,
Mhm.
okay? But until you build a foundation underneath it, you're not gonna do it very good part-time. And I'm a perfect example. When the recession hit 2011, I went consulting and I started up a steel company here in town. And
Mhm.
that was my full-time job for 3 years. I had, again, my wife's a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
I had to go do something.
Right.
I still did a number of transactions throughout the course of the year, but I had a full-time 6 years before me leading up to it, to where I could still maintain a professionalism and still do the deals.
Well, you knew where to go for
Absolutely.
tools or questions, or, I mean, there's a huge difference to
Right.
know where you find answers to things, or how the inspection process
Mhm.
goes, or what have you. And
Yeah.
talking about raising the level of professionalism, and also talking about when you're opening a business, what business do you open part-time?
Mm-hmm.
You don't open
Yeah.
businesses part-time.
Right, right.
Well, can I put my?
Yeah, sorry, that's just how I feel.
You know, that's what's wonderful about our businesses, because we all do have there actually was a group of people, some of the older realtors, we did talk about this education part, and we need to expand it, and we were very concerned. I mean, we talked a lot about it, but I don't know what happened to it. It just kind of flew on the wayside somewhere. But part-time, I'm thinking, when I first came in, I was teaching, and then I did part-time. I did in the summer months, and I gave it my all. And I guess I'm looking at, almost on any job, you have full-time and part-time people, so I don't know that you can really say, well, this is the industry where you can only have full-time people. So I don't know that that would really cut it. Just because you even have part-time teachers are called subs, you know, and so even doctors, they do the travel. So I don't know that that would really go, but I just think the education part.
Okay.
We gotta at least be a high school.
Okay, well,
Have a high school
someone in
diplomacy.
Hamilton, I was there last week, and someone said they called in to get their license. On the website, it says only through 10th grade. The woman who answered the phone said, no, that's been changed. We haven't updated our website.
Oh,
So you
okay.
need to send in a diploma.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
so
okay, when did that happen? Because
this was last week.
Oh, so
like,
it's brand new, well, good.
That's what they-
I thought it was a high school.
I thought it was too.
Yeah,
I
well,
thought it was
it
too.
wasn't too long
I
ago
was told
that
a
it
couple
was
weeks
10.
ago it was 10th grade.
Yeah.
So,
It
so
wasn't
what
too
would you
long
guys
ago.
like to see as far as education? So what would you like changed if I can make recommendations or additions? So yes, the money-making part is the Canal Morton courses and then the exams that are created by a testing service. But if we were to do something, increase the level of CE or increase the training, if you're not with a firm that's going to give you really good training out of pre-licensure that first year, do more
Well, the
training.
rookie class, I still think should be a little
It
sooner,
should
like
be
at the
front
beginning.
end. That's
Mhm.
Yes, I think so too.
Okay.
Whether it's right after they pass their test or right with the cannoli Morton
Mm-hmm.
classes,
Mm-hmm.
so that, because to get into business and then it's like, you know, you can actually go
Mm-hmm.
start helping, yeah.
Yep.
And my husband, he's also a realtor, and he gives the story, his first transaction, he had no clue how to write it up, and he went and asked another realtor from another company who was a
Yeah.
friend, you know,
Yeah.
and, you know, so, it's changed, it's gotten a little better.
Who was he under? Who was
He
his
was-
broker?
And we were in, you know, I don't
Can't
wanna
remember
say
where
who
you
it
guys
was.
started. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that you guys.
but we were in an office, and it just so happened that our broker wasn't available, and
Mhm.
you know how that is, somebody wants to put the offer on tonight, and he
Mhm.
couldn't be there, so,
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
But-
he didn't know how to write up an offer yet.
Sure.
I think that, again, I'm gonna go back to, you know, the broker who you sign under. lender, I feel like there should be a certain number of hours where they have to sign off on
Mhm.
everything that you do, and it's a mentorship. I think that we have to
And that's a
mentor
good
each other. That's
idea.
why we work under a broker, and